this computer. Beth, are you trying to talk? I couldn't hear you.
Yes, sorry. What is a pinner? What is it?
Oh,
Go ahead, Nancy.
well, it's in, so it's kind of started it's in the Mountain West area, but it's for people who like to do things on Pinterest. And so the topic is very broad. And so it's not necessarily great for fine art. It's for, well, I sell handmade paints. And so that does really well because people are going there to buy products and things that they can turn into, DIY projects at home. And so they're really people that are trying to learn how to do art and other crafts. They're at a very basic level. Like I provide this like watercolor activity where they can try out the paint. That's a free activity. It's really great because it's engaging, but many times they have to be told like, you have to add water. Like they're just starting from like the beginning, the very beginning, like if they've never done it.
Mm-hmm. So how I'd like to start is maybe on your own computers, if you could bring up your websites. And then what I'd like to do is, give each of you a chance to share the screen and introduce yourself and use your elevator pitch and just a little practice of how to introduce yourself quickly to others. And then after you do that, if you could say like, if you've been listening to the videos, if anything has been helpful to you, and then afterwards we'll do a Q&A. And then after that, I'd like to do a little practice sales techniques because I find that that's very helpful. Okay, so I'm going to actually hit not share screen because I don't want to share my screen. I want to make participants share. Let's see, multiple participants can share. Does anybody want to start? Erin?
No, I don't want to start, but I have a question because I'm on an iPad. Can you share screens on an iPad, or I could?
Yeah, I think you should be able to. No, I think you should be able to share your screen. I think that I think the coding's a little bit different, but look at the bottom. Is if you put your finger over it, does it show?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out while someone else goes.
Actually, if you want, I can bring up your website. Okay.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's fine.
Okay. So, who's the first exciting person?
Let's see.
I can be brave and start.
Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. Sure. All right, I'll go ahead and try to share the screen and bear with me because I do have 70 tabs open all the time.
So, yeah, it's important that one is up front, but look, you did it. Beautiful.
Right.
Yeah.
I did it. So my name is Grace and I'm actually in Seattle. So just waking up and having my coffee right now. I'm excited to be here. So I am really motivated by this idea of body liberation and feeling good in my body. So I've gone through a lot of different things in life, and it's really shown me that, feeling good in our bodies and really starting to question what is normal and kind of how we construct beauty and gender and health has been really important to me. So I went back to school and learned figurative painting. So I do a lot of figure and portrait to really celebrate body variation and again, just making space for everyone to feel good. Look at this. Is this looking strange to you all?
It is. Isn't that weird?
So weird. Yeah, I just
it might come in a second.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a show that I literally just opened 2 weeks ago, and if they pop into focus, you'll see it's a portrait series that I created of my community, which is people with visible scarring from burn injuries. And again, it's just a show kind of more personal about my own community, but really connected to acceptance and body liberation. These look really funny right now, but
you could see how well they're painted and how luscious they are. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So that's me. I don't know if you want to know anything else.
Well, I want to know like how the show is going, if the gallery is helping you with sales, or contacting different museums and places that possibly could buy your artwork?
Yeah, it's not through a gallery. I did all on my own. And at the moment, I am within like a week and a half since the opening. I'm experiencing like a real just like mental downturn after this huge opening of like 400 people. So it's super well attended. It was posted at an artist gallery in like an artist studio building. And then in December, the whole show is relocating to a place called the Port of Seattle, which is like a government. It's like their government headquarters on the waterfront here. So there's going to be another opening in mid-December.
Oh,
But
great.
yeah, both of these are not through a gallery. So it's been a lot of figuring out like doing all the behind the scenes stuff on my own and follow up on my own and stuff.
And
So I
so,
was reading or listening to the sales piece
mhm,
was really helpful. I skipped ahead and started listening to the sales
good,
module.
good. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So Grace,
Mhm.
do you think that your collector is, if you want to stop sharing your screen for a second, we
Sure.
could talk about, do you think your collector is in your community, or do you think your collector is outside of your community?
I think many overlapping communities, I would say.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think outside, both in and outside. Yeah, I've
And-
sold plenty of work in the past, but it's very stop and start. And I
Mhm.
think there's different patrons who will buy still life versus figure versus like I've done more abstract work as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you want to sell this body of work, is that correct?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay, and then you're having
Mhm.
another opportunity in December, which is actually
Mhm.
rather close. And
Mhm.
could you make a list of some of the communities that
Mhm.
maybe you think that your buyer is in, and then come up with some ways to get publicity to them, either through, your press release or being on podcasts that speak
Mhm.
to these people, and try to get in front of the right people, because you have a very specific
Yeah.
niche. And I think that
Mhm.
you should drill down during this time. I also want to say, it is exhausting to put on a show. It
Yeah,
is
I'm
exhausting
exhausted.
to get the marketing out there for the show.
Yeah.
And then once that part's over, we all just want to collapse. And
Mhm.
and unfortunately, especially because you're doing it again in December, now is the time, actually, the work's done, which is actually rather nice to have a show in December where the work's already done. So now is actually the time to like make your list, start thinking about who, like, is there organizations that speak to burn victims? Is there,
Mhm.
nonprofits or places that you can start contacting, even without being in Seattle? It doesn't have to be in Seattle, over the next month, so that when your show reopens again, you have more potential collectors to work your new sales skills on.
Yeah, this is the motivation I needed.
Okay. It's hard. It's really hard to get
Yeah.
back on the saddle after a show. Congratulations. It's a huge accomplishment. And these types of galleries, are spaces, and they're not going to help you with the sales.
No, yeah, definitely not. Yeah.
And you put too much work in to not
Mhm.
actually give yourself that opportunity while the show is up to do the sales.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a list going of different organizations, and yes, I like this is totally why I'm here. It's like I'm so tired, and I also just like really need to like keep
Yeah.
pushing at least
Yeah,
for December.
if it's
Yeah.
for December, that's like a month away, and that's actually,
Yeah.
give yourself maybe a little bit more time, but within next week, you
Mhm.
really need to be contacting these organizations, try to get on a
Mhm.
podcast or two. How do you feel comfortable about being interviewed, or, because that
Yeah.
has a lag time too. It's not like every podcast is going to interview you and then throw it up there right away. There's usually a lag time of 2 or 3 weeks. So if there's some podcasts that you think would be your demographic, I would get in touch with them now. And I would do that through an email that's very, very
Yeah.
concise. I would first
Yeah.
watch the podcast, listen to the podcasts, and find one in particular episode that resonates with you. And then when you
Mhm.
write your email to them, you start with that, right? You start with what
Mhm.
resonated with you. These people get emails all the time, and unless they think you actually genuinely listened to them and appreciated their message, you're just one in a million. So take the time to get to know them, and then take the time to put that at the top of your email to them. And then after that, you're going to pitch yourself and why you would be a match for them. And then you have to ask them, do you
Yeah.
think I'm a match for your show? Would you be interested? I am having a show in December and I want to get the word out, or something like that. And then
Yeah.
please, I don't know if you got to it yet, but please download an app called Mixmax. And
Oh yeah, I know you mentioned that when you did the master class
yeah,
with Marina. Okay.
right. So if you download that, then you could see if the podcaster has actually
Mhm.
looked at your email. And if they've looked at it more than once, I would definitely email them again. Hey,
Mhm.
checking up on, just want to see if you got my first email. Of course they did, you know that. Or if they never opened it, then try a new email with a different header.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
Good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was on a podcast for the burn community a couple months or 1 month ago, but I think getting another one, at least trying to get something for December. That
Mhm.
sounds good.
Great. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thank
doing
you.
that. Yeah. Grace. Okay. Who's next? Anna, you've been very good at putting out stuff on Instagram. So I'd love to hear what you have to say. I could tell that you blog and you do things. So let's hear
Yeah,
it.
hi. Hi. Well, I'm kind of stumped up. I haven't been in my studio for 20 days. I just took off because I don't know, I guess I just needed time off from the creative. So I came to the studio and saw the link that there's going to be the conversation today. So I'm on my phone. I didn't
Yeah.
have my computer. So maybe, I don't know if I can share my website, or maybe you
Why
could
don't I
send me.
I share your website? Okay, let me go find it.
Okay, sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Let me see.
So yeah,
Anna,
I'll just wait.
how do you spell your last name?
SNEERNGER.
Here he is. Great.
There we go.
Beautiful. Ah, it
How
looks
do I see that
fantastic.
on the phone?
Let me see. Hold on. Share screen. Here we go. Anna. Okay. Anna.
Okay, yeah, you see, maybe it's not very good now to see because
It's great.
that's what.
Don't talk
No,
like that.
it's not, because it's missing the head. So
Oh,
it
well,
was
let's go into works. Okay.
oh yeah, maybe there. Yeah, we could go to the
There
last.
you go.
Okay,
Beautiful.
so I'm Anna Sneeringer. So I've been an artist. Well, I'm self-taught artist, first of all. So, but I've been a painting since 2010 when I left my country. I'm originally from Slovenia. And then from 2010, I lived in 9 different countries due to my husband's work. But my background is a journalism, where I was doing the documentaries, portraits on people. But I've never knew that I'm gonna kind of transition that into my art, where I'm painting a female figure with a very focused on the personal life, on emotions, and like how we have to be true to ourselves. That's like in a nutshell about myself, and I'm trying to bring the rawest emotions to my art, through or having some conversations with people, or just lately I've been really digging into myself and like just questioning myself, why am I reacting to the certain things, how am I reacting. Like this is the art series called Making Decision. where I noticed that every time I had to make some big decisions in my life, I would find myself like, you know, thinking about it. But at the end, to make a decision, I would always sit down and like make the final decision to do it. So that's why like all the portraits here that I mean, all the figures that you see, they're in a sitting kind of position, right? So what I'm at the moment struggling with is I moved, my last country was India, and there I had like really extremely successful art practice, right? I had a lot of sales, and you know, I just got to be known, and like my work was put in a museum and whatnot. And then I moved to the US, and now everything is just so quiet, and I don't know how to move forward. First of all, I know there is a transition period because, you know, always moving from country to country, but like now I live in a small town where I just don't feel like my art community is here. My art is so different for what I see here that I'm always like searching for online exposure, and I am getting it. I'm getting exposure, and I'm getting exhibitions in the US and around the world. Like I had just one in Dubai, and but it's like so quiet, and I don't know how to move forward. So that's in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
Well, you're
Yeah.
in Alabama now.
Yep, I'm in Alabama. Yeah, I'm next to the Montgomery, like 30 minutes out of the Montgomery, where the city is very quiet. So this is one of the big transitions. And if you go to this last series, Delivered, Under the Works, this is about this, you know, me being delivered to the new place where I'm looking for myself. Like, and you could see the cacti represents kind of protection in my art. You know, and then my animal became a horse, where I do have a farm with horses, and like I find a comfort being around them more than around the people. So I'm getting really good feedback on the work itself, but I don't know, maybe because before I was focusing more on the portraits, now I'm doing more figurative work. People are kind of confused. What am I doing? That's why the sales are not going. I just don't know. I'd like to hear some perspective
So
from you
Anna,
guys.
can you explain like which work was selling very well in India?
Okay, so if you go down to Abstract Life and below Dream, and then Continuation, those are all sold works. Like this one was sold, like this one was in a solo show, and it was sold at like immediately in the same day.
And they were sold in India. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, some of them were sold in India, and some of them people were following my Instagram and would buy them. So you could see here how many? 8, I believe
Yeah.
so.
Uh-huh.
No, 6. 6.
6. Uh-huh.
6, and I had 12 pieces. So like some of them were sold to India, and some of them were sold to one went to Mexico, one went to the US. No, 2 went to the US, and then a couple of them went to Slovenia. Like people were following what I'm doing. So
On Instagram.
I would say so. I mean, I don't know.
Right, you have
Nobody told me
18,000,
like, you
right.
know, where is
Uh-huh.
it coming from? Yeah, but now I'm like confused. What is it with this? I love working with, and I also switched the medium, right? I'm working with oils now. Before I worked with acrylic, and you know, it's like I'm really enjoying this what I'm doing, but it's like not, you know, when you don't sell, you kind of have self-doubts, like,
I actually
right?
think the transition makes a lot of sense, Anna. I don't see it as being particularly like this big leap that people shouldn't understand how you moved from the work that you thought was selling, that you said sold, to the work that you have now. I mean, it's more colorful, and, you know, there's definitely more of like a, you know, Arizona, Texas feel to it, but
Right.
it could be an Arab country too. I mean, there's just a lot of places that could resonate. Do you have the connection to the gallery in India still?
Well, no, I did not have in the gallery there. I
Oh.
had a solo show, which was not in a gallery. I organized my solo show. It was kind of art type of the restaurant. That was we kind of emptied the upper space. It was really nice, scenic view around. Like it was really nice place though. And then I organized the solo show there, and I had the sales. But
Wow.
also before this dream collection, if you look before my
Mhm.
work was very colorful, but it was just the portraits, right?
Okay, let's see.
And
Uh-huh.
so yeah, if you like, you see,
Oh,
the,
right.
this was
Uh-huh.
like this rainbow was one of the hits that like I still get people commission me for them.
Right, I could see
Um,
that. They're
right,
colorful, they have a little gold in them, they have beautiful women.
right,
Yes,
yeah,
uh-huh. They're provocative. They have a lot of different things going for
right.
them. And now you're
So
saying
which
you're
like
showing the whole figure, they're not selling
yeah,
as well. Uh-huh.
yeah, but like the same approaches in this, like the same thought is put into my newer work, except that it's now the full figure, maybe with I mean, and it does of course has a different subject next to it. It's not just the woman anymore. So I'm not saying that I'm not enjoying this working just as on a portrait itself, but it's like I need to evolve further in, so
Right. And so you do have the ones that sold as,
prints.
right, and they're limited edition reproductions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And is there
Yeah.
a reason like why you're starting at $50? Like what size is a $50 one?
8 by no, it's what's the yeah, it's the smaller size. Well, I know this is another thing. I don't know, maybe I'm undercharging the
Yeah.
prints. Maybe I should
Yes.
do them
Yeah.
different, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
So let's go into for a minute, let's go into the work itself, okay? And then like something like this that is like 4 foot by 5 foot, right? Like
mhm.
what is your price for 4 foot by 5 foot?
It's 4,000, 4,000, yeah. 4 by
4,000.
5.
Okay, so you should have your, well, yeah, I probably would make my reproductions somewhere between, I mean, I wouldn't ever sell a reproduction for $50 because I just think it's just not even worth it. It's not worth it to you to like actually have it. Do you just have it sent out through a company or do you go somewhere to get them done?
No, I do like certain thing that are limited edition. I do them on my own. Like
Uh-huh.
they would send them to me, and then I would sign them. But the other ones that are they go like print on demand type of
On
the
demand. Uh-huh.
yeah.
And I mean, it's a very good price. Are you selling many?
Well, no, not really, because I'm not even promoting prints.
Right.
Like, people, I do notice like when people do come to my website, they go mostly to the original thing,
Uh-huh. Well,
Yeah,
right now,
so
it is the holiday season and you have a big Instagram following. I would
mhm.
maybe double those prices and then put some kind of like effort towards your Instagram right now and promoting some
Mhm.
reproductions at twice the price that they are now. Like I would double the price and then
For
offer,
like 8 by 10, you think I think it's 8 by 10 is $50, but that's just like print without anything.
I don't care. If someone wants a piece of you, they shouldn't pay less than
Yeah.
$100. I don't care how big the
Well,
print is.
Stephanie, for the longest time, I didn't even have prints on. Like
Mhm.
I put the prints like maybe a couple of months ago up
Right.
because I thought that reproduction was just not something that I was setting it with. But then people would ask me to do the embellished prints, so I started doing that as well.
I hope
But
you
then
charged a lot more for those.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Uh-huh.
For those, like
Right.
I do charge way more. Like it's um around $400 would be like 9 by 12.
Mhm.
right?
I
So,
think that if you said that those earlier ones were commercially successful for you,
mhm,
I don't think you should dismiss them. I mean, I want you
mhm,
to paint what you're wanting to paint now, but I don't want you to not have income while you're trying to find your new collectors. And if your old collectors are on Instagram and they've
mhm,
purchased from you and you've had some, you know, I think you should double the prices. I wouldn't even spend a moment of time thinking, oh, it's 8 by 10, that's so small. I don't care. Nobody gets a piece
mhm.
of you for under $100. I mean,
Yeah, well, that's what
okay,
I needed to hear. It's like, so thank you so much. Like,
yeah,
because it's
nobody
like,
should
it's
get a
really
piece of
hard
you. I
to,
think that people shouldn't get a piece of you for even more than that, but okay, we'll
right.
start there.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say something like, I'm offering like 10% off for the holidays just now for this very
Mhm,
limited period of time, like this week, so I can guarantee that it gets to you. I don't know if
mhm,
it's going to fail or succeed, but you know, it is the holiday times and people, especially, you know, Small Business Saturdays coming up, and you know, it is you know, how I feel is like you do a promotion or two right now. If they don't work out, fine, but at least you've tried it and it's the
mhm,
holidays and you have 18,000 people on your Instagram and you should be able
yeah,
to get them to your shop. You already put your shop up. You have a print on
right.
demand system. I would double the prices and then offer them 10% off for a
Mhm,
limited, you have to make it limited. You have to make it like 5 days and you have to
mhm,
agree to post like 3 times during those 5 days
mhm,
just about the prints and
right.
see if anybody bites. And
Mhm,
you know, you do seem like you do a lot of writing, and I saw that
mhm.
you do messaging on Instagram, and I would consider, you know, not just posting about it, but doing the messaging and seeing if you could direct
You're
people.
talking about this new group, whatever is it, like a channel?
Well, I saw that you've messaged me
Mhm.
a couple of times on Instagram, and so I
Right,
don't
right.
know if you had like
Yeah,
an
no,
app that does
yeah,
that.
that, no, that's that, what is it? It's called the channel that you can establish under the messages, right?
Uh-huh,
And then you've got members channel. I think it's called. I don't know. There was a. I received a call from Instagram, and
uh-huh.
because my Instagram at the moment, like I do have a kind of bigger following, but it's like if you don't do the play the game as they want you, you're not gonna get no views, no nothing, right? So just showing up whenever you want to, it doesn't really work. You kind of have to follow their agenda, and then they recommended to do this messaging right through this channel, which you should not be like really into like bogging people too much too often, maybe once or twice maximum a week. So that's what I'm trying now, once a week, to see if there is any more feedback.
Right.
But yeah, but more is like I I also like to ask like about like you sold my art, right? And I loved your I listened to all the work that you recorded. It was, I
Thank you.
really like it, where you are in the hotels. But for my art, I'm not sure if I see my art doing that. Like,
I
would
see
it be
you
successful?
maybe finding a gallery or two in the Southwest. I think that you
Mm-hmm,
are, you know, I think right now I want you to just earn a little income for the holidays. And I want you
mm-hmm,
to like spend this time from now until Christmas, you know, just experimenting. You already have many people on your Instagram, which is, you know, much more than most people have. And
right.
so,
Yeah.
you know, for this moment in time, and I'm just talking about this month, I'm not talking about
Mm-hmm,
forever, that I would
okay.
put your energy towards seeing if you could learn how to generate some sales through your Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
even in reproductions, because you said that's easy. Like
Yeah.
you have a company, maybe Bay Photo. I don't know which one you use, but you know, it's a
No,
print on
I
demand.
use it's I print from home. It's a small business, like a
Uh-huh.
family business, and they do really high quality art.
Beautiful.
And
Right.
it's, if somebody else wants it, it's
Hmm.
really amazing though.
Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing
So.
your information.
Mm-hmm,
That's so great. Yeah, so for just right now, I would, see if I could generate some income off of the reproductions because they would be a holiday item. And then
Mhm.
after that, I would start making my list of galleries. Someone said Santa Fe. I totally agree
Mhm.
with Erin there. I would like look through Texas, Santa Fe, Arizona, and I would start like going into like different art fairs
Right.
and then looking through all the galleries in those art fairs and seeing
Mhm.
which ones resonate with you, Taos, and seeing which galleries resonate with you. And then I would start sending out my portfolio, my email, just like I said to Grace, where you mention certain artists in their gallery and how much you appreciate their gallery. I'd be following them on Instagram and I'd be sharing their posts in my stories so they start
Mhm.
to see you. So like if you start following a gallery and you like one of their posts, I would post it in my story so that
Mhm.
that gallery would start to see who you were. And then next year, you should really start contacting these galleries. And the same
Right.
thing, use Mixmax, see if they're opening your emails, then recontact them. If you have
Mhm.
the guts, follow-up phone calls. Not really a follow-up phone call person myself, but you could. And I can't tell
I've
you to do
never
something
been.
I've done.
Yeah, I've never been like, searching for the galleries, and I know that's what we need to do. It's like I'm having my work in Arkansas in right in Little Rock, and it's selling really well there.
Great.
But like they found me, so it's like it's always easier if they find you. But
Always
I
easier. Always easier. If
yeah.
you have a gallery, you're going to need to
Mhm.
raise your prices a little bit. Like to
Mm,
get $4,000 and then only to get 2,000 of it.
yeah,
Maybe
it's
start
not.
talking
Yeah,
to the gallery about creeping up your prices. If they're selling for
right,
you, it's hard because it's selling at that price range. But
right.
um,
Yeah.
as you get into galleries, I'm not, completely sold on galleries myself, but I think your work
Mm,
is very specific and you're not in that location, right?
right.
You're not in
Yeah.
that location, so you need to get to that location. And so the
Mhm.
galleries are going to help you. So
Yeah.
we've basically got a 2-point plan here. First, we're going to use Instagram for a month, see how that works. And
Yeah.
then we're going to
The
start looking
gallery.
for a gallery. Yeah,
Yeah. Cool.
great.
Super. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, who's next? Guess we're probably not going to get to sales, but we'll get to that next time once we see everybody's work. Nancy, Erin, she raised, oh, okay, Nancy.
I have never done screen sharing before, so I have it out. So I don't
Great.
know.
You're going to hit the screen share button down there. It's like down at the bottom of your screen. You see where it says chat,
Okay.
screen share, hit the screen share button.
Okay, and then desktop.
Then it should come up, a whole bunch of screens should show up on your thing, and you should see the one that shows your work.
Okay.
You see it?
Well, it says that I have to, Zoom has to be allowed to share my.
Oh, you might not have it. Hold on, Nancy. I'm going to just do it.
Okay,
Let's
thank
see.
you.
Nancy.
And then my maiden name is ANDRUK.
Yep, it already came up for me because
Okay.
I've looked at your site before. So, although it's not particularly showing up yet. Let's see. It might take a minute. Let's see. Paintings, oil paintings. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to share my screen. Thank you, Anna, for sharing. Thank you, everybody. I know it's not always easy. Okay, there we go. Take it away, Nancy.
So I'm a landscape painter and I use a lot of color to kind of create an imagined space. And so I focus on that kind of idea as landscape as a stage for human interaction. I see a lot of these paintings. Now that I'm I haven't looked at this for a while, but I paint very large with a lot of large brush strokes and very loose. And I use color. Color is the main vehicle that I use to kind of take things into an imagined space.
Beautiful. And Nancy, where are you selling your work right now?
Well, right, I have 3 galleries, but none of them work very well. And then I have I I do a lot of these type of pop-up shows or the in-person shows. I sell things there.
Right.
I would say primarily, and occasionally I get invited to do shows like the show that I had this summer, that large show. It's not posted on here that yet. That one was at a gallery that they don't represent people, but they invite different artists every month. So occasionally I do things like that. And I also try and sell myself as much as I can. So the one piece this year I've sold 2 large pieces. One was through a commission, which is not on my website because it's a commission. And then one from that show, but it was through my email list.
It was through
So-
your email list. So it was
Mhm.
all people that you were connected to more than the gallery itself.
Correct. So what I had done, like the gallery kind of, I don't know why they did this, but they kind of flaked out on everything on the end. Like they changed the date several times after it was posted. After the show was hung, they changed the dates.
Oh, no.
I
Right.
mean, why do you do that to somebody? They changed the dates of the opening reception, all this stuff. And so they didn't really do any advertising. So I had sent a postcard out to everyone on my list that I have their mailing address. And one of those people bought the image from the postcard.
Great. Uh-huh.
And so that's how I did it. I was sharing it through my channels. I didn't really, I mean, the gallery doesn't really know. Because they contacted me directly, they paid me directly, and I delivered it to them. The gallery had no interaction with them. And
Oh. Uh-huh.
it was because of the postcard that I had sent and made. And I sent the postcard to the gallery so they could print it out and send it to their people, but they never did it.
Yeah.
They never even put the image of I sent them a digital version because I didn't want to pay for them to print, but they didn't even put the digital version like in their email. Why? Why do they do that? I don't even know.
Some galleries are just not very good. Did you have all these small paintings up at the show too?
So I had a whole bunch of small ones, some of these, yes. So I had those seven large ones, and they were $9,000 each. That's what I sold the one. They were all 42 by 72. So they were
Beautiful. Uh-huh.
And then I had 2, that was a diptych that was 24 by 36, 2 of those together. And then I had a variety of these that were between $100 and $1,000 that were basically like studies, and they looked exactly like this, that were just hung.
They're great. Yeah. Mhm. Easy to sell. Right.
And then all in the same frame as well. So they all had the same framing so that it looked really uniform. I kind of another thing about my work is that I'm really big on doing things chromatically. And they asked me to lay out the pieces for them chromatically, and also kind of to go along with the larger piece, the smaller piece. It's there when I'm in that blue dress. Anyway, they didn't hang them chromatically, and so they kind of didn't make sense. All the small pieces are shown in that next to that pink
Yes.
paint. Yeah. Mhm. So they all kind of look like that.
Oh, this looks like a great show. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry that you did not sell more through this gallery, because looks like you made all the different price points. You have you have the wow pieces, and then you have the small pieces. You did everything right, Nancy. You really did. You framed the small pieces so people wouldn't have to solve the framing issue, which is huge, especially in watercolor. Bravo, because that is the way to do it. Your gallery just sucked.
Yeah, that's what I think. So after that, I was like, I'm not going to make any effort to work with them again because of this experience. Because this gallery is kind of, I guess in our area, it's an important gallery because of specifically this gallery has a religious dialogue. And so they try and have all these different alternative kind of religious paintings. And so they have a lot of control over that. And so it's hard to get into this gallery. I spent a long time trying to get this show.
Right.
Then
Mhm.
and I did all this work and then they don't even care. I mean, it's not lost. I mean, I still sold one large painting. I have all this work that I can continue to sell in these other shows, but it's just
And what are the other galleries like that you're in?
so I have one gallery. Well, I don't have any work there right now because but I have one gallery that's in Salt Lake. I don't have any work at their gallery right now, but they are the same kind of thing with the lack of communication. Like they've called me and said, we're having a show next week and we already printed the postcards. Can you bring some work down? I'm like, okay, good thing I have a lot of work ready all the time, but
Mhm.
so they're kind of like that all the time. Just like, can you come right now? I'm like, I have 4 children, you know, but, and so they do that. And then I have this gallery in Laguna Beach, which I started right before the pandemic, literally like 2 or 3 weeks before the pandemic. So that was kind of unfortunate because they have a physical location. Laguna Beach, you know, is based on tourism, and so they kind of like hunkered down and just went with what they already knew would
Right.
work,
Mhm.
which I understand because they're trying to like preserve their location. I'm sure they had almost no foot traffic because California was closed, especially like a place like Laguna Beach, which is, you know, dependent on tourism. And anyway, and then now they've transitioned to NFTs, and basically I think I'm still on their website, but they just won't even communicate with me at all. So that's kind of an unfortunate thing.
Well, I definitely think that Laguna Beach is a great place for you.
I
But
agree.
maybe it's not the right gallery for you. So
Yeah.
let's make a plan for your Christmas time because I
Okay.
imagine you have lots of people on your email list.
Yes.
Okay. And so, and you've been selling them paint mostly, the people on your
Yes.
email list.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably put out an email right now with the small paintings because you have some of the small paintings left, I imagine.
Uh-huh. Yes, I have a
Uh,
lot, and I can change the ones. I haven't changed them for a while, so I can, the ones you were looking at, I can, you know, change those. So.
Right. So I would put out an email for Small Business Saturday or, you know, something around this time where you highlight the smaller paintings and you highlight the paints. And I hate to say this again, I would raise all the prices 10 or 20%, and then I would give them a discount of 10%. I don't want you to sell for less than you're already selling, but I think people expect a deal for the holidays. I'm not a deal person. We just happen to be talking at the end of the year and it's Christmas time. And I think the people here who have a product that they could potentially sell for Christmas, they should spend this month, you know, recontacting the people on their list and offering them 10% off. Again, it's Small Business Saturday, right after Thanksgiving. So either before Small Business Saturday, maybe the Thursday. Oh, well, Thursday is Thanksgiving, but people still really look at their emails at that time. So send it out like the Wednesday before Small Business Saturday and
Yeah.
end it on the Sunday after. And what you're going to do is you have an email list. So you're going to send it out on that Wednesday. You're going to send it out on that Saturday. And then you're going to make it end on the Monday and you're going to send it out again on the Monday with a last opportunity. Okay. And you're going to put a code because you can do that in your website, I assume.
Yes.
And you're going to raise all the prices 20% and you're going to give them 10% off.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. And to see how it
Can
goes,
I
because I
ask a
think all
clarifying
the,
question?
yes.
Oh,
Grace?
just on the email, are you talking about sending out a general email to your whole list or like a specific list of people who have already bought work from you?
I would totally send it out
Just
to a
everybody.
list of people who didn't buy from me. I mean, this is, you know,
Everybody. Yeah.
both, you know, Anna and Nancy are gonna showcase low priced items right now. And low priced items for the holiday for gift giving. I mean, it's not like people couldn't buy the higher priced items for the holidays. I just feel like if you're going to send out a general email right now, maybe this is the way to entice people into
Mhm.
being a low end collector and then bringing
Mhm.
them into being a high end collector later on. But
Mhm.
just for the holidays. And again, you'll hear me have a totally different point of view after the holidays are over. But so I would work this email out and I would have all 3 emails already done, right? So that so first you're going to go in and you're going to raise all your prices, right? And then you're going to redo your small paintings. And in the email, you're going to showcase a couple of the small paintings. You're going to make a link to them. You're going to give them the coupon. And you're going to do this on Wednesday. You're going to do this on Saturday. And then you're going to do a last chance on Monday.
Okay.
Okay. And just see how it works. I mean, and also, if you want, I really want to resist giving a discount on your paint. I think that when you find out how much time it takes you to make the paint, you're already not making the kind of money that I'd like to see you make per hour. So, but you could put together like little gift packages with the paint and the coloring book and
That's a good idea. Make gift packages.
and something like that, where you say like, here's a little idea for a gift, and it's the paint and the coloring book and maybe some of the brushes that you put with it, so that for under $200, somebody can get some really special gift for someone they love who's an art lover.
Okay, that's a
And
great
so I
idea.
would promote those 2 things and try to make it so that I don't know how it works. Maybe you have Squarespace, that your coupon only works for the small paintings that you've already raised the price and then you've taken off the price.
Yeah, I
Okay.
could set limits on the coupon for it to be just for specific items.
Great. Yeah.
So,
Because I don't
and-
want you to discount the paint, because I don't think you make enough money off of it.
okay,
Yeah. And then also, promote it on Instagram too, by showing the gift packets. And I want you to go into a Instagram called Pink Sparrow Social.
okay,
And she has like an idea about how to graphically or actionally promote an actual product, where she like drops them and stuff. And if you go in there, she has lots of different videos about how to create action kind of in your Instagram. And the ones where she actually sells a product, I think she has some really good ideas about how to like have that wow factor in the reel.
okay,
So go into Pink Sparrow Social and look for the ones where she talks about how to sell a product.
okay.
Okay. And that would be good for your little gift package for the art lover. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's next? Erin, Beth, your last one. All right. She's ready.
Hello, hello. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have you share the
Okay,
screen again
you bet.
too.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so I paint in egg tempera and silver point. My practice is kind of about history, both real and imagined. And I come from an illustration background. For years I did picture books for children. I wrote in illustrated picture books. And so I'm really interested in narrative and storytelling and symbols, and sort of how that relates to sort of across cultures, and kind of transcends cultures, and is related to sort of the wisdom of nature and shared humanity and all that.
Well, these are
Obviously,
some
I need to work on my pitch. It's been a while.
I know it's hard.
Yeah.
And so these were just in a museum.
So I have a museum show coming up. It's going to be
Oh.
February through June.
Fantastic.
So I've been working on finishing up stuff for that. And obviously that won't earn any money at all.
Well, let's say that. Okay, let's see if we could bring some
I
collectors
guess
to it.
could. Yeah, I mean, if there is any sales, it would just be directly,
Through
through
you.
me.
Right. Uh-huh. But
I've
the museum has its own membership.
yeah, and it has a pretty good follow. So I moved from LA to Iowa, So I relate to Anna and the very quietness of it. There is an art community here, but it's very regional. And so I'm trying to figure out sort of where I am. I'm from this area originally, so I think it started to really affect my new work. And I'm transitioning because most of my pieces, because I work in egg tempera, are very small. And so I've had a hard time pricing them appropriately. The galleries I've been showing with are La Luz de Jesus in LA and then Modern Eden up in San Fran. And to keep it within their price points so that it makes sense, my like 8x10 or 9x12 are sort of in that 1,500 to 1,800 range, which is way too,
Oh, that's
way
too little for the amount
So
of work
low.
you put in.
but but those sell.
Right.
And
I
I've done,
understand.
so the larger pieces. So I've tried like this last solo show at La Luz. I did those 2 larger pieces and I'm trying to transition to those. That bear he sold. And that was, I think, around 8,000,
Great.
which is again, too low.
Too
but is
low.
the
I know, but it's
market
still,
for-
you're bringing your price point up, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that is so La Luz's director has just opened up a new gallery. I don't think my work is going to fit well into it. My goal right now is to work on the larger pieces and to get into a higher end gallery where I can put the prices at a point that makes
Yes.
sense because it takes so long.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my long-term goal. And so I really don't know where to earn money. I hesitate to do prints because the pieces are so small. And the whole point is that it's the quality of the egg tempera in person justifies the price being higher. So I don't know. I'm very bad at earning money. I related to your
I understand because your work's very labor intensive, and that's actually why the prints would help you. And are the galleries that you're in at all interested in doing like very limited editions, like 5 or something like that, of the work that's already sold? Have you?
I think La Luz might have at one point, but like I said, they have a new director. I'm not sure I'll even be staying there. I feel like my work has gotten away. Both are kind of, so La Luz is like a lowbrow. It's where lowbrow started in LA, and it's more of it's a different sorry. It's a different scene than necessarily where I think my work is going. And the same with Modern Eden. It's that new contemporary, beautiful, bizarre kind of where my work fits in it, but it's not necessarily a perfect fit. I haven't done a solo or anything with them.
Oh, I could see why this would be a fit for you. Sure. And then,
yeah. So like I'm in their group shows. They always, any group show, like they always offer, I'm in the mass one that opened this last weekend. So they work with me, but I think not being in town, and I've gone to San Fran a few times to just get a better, network going. I don't know them very well, but they always offer to put me in their shows. I don't know.
I certainly am not a fan of seeing how low the price point is of their painting.
Well, and this is like, so this show is depressing because it's their small pieces.
I see.
So, and that's where I feel like I compare very poorly because this is everybody who does, a 26 by whatever is their regular $4,000. And so they've have these really low prices, but then mine's at my normal price, which I still think is low.
Too low, right, for the amount of work that you put in. Right.
Yeah. So I am, like I said, the new work that I'm doing is all going to be is larger. There is a size limit. I get my boards made in Bulgaria. It's all traditional icon boards. So I have a guy who will make them large for me, but it's not just like going down and buying a canvas,
I understand. And when you say that you're gonna do it larger, are you still doing like the silver point underneath and the amount of time it takes you to do the silver point and then the painting on top? You're still doing the same method. Egg
I'm doing-
tempera.
Yeah,
beautiful.
so the pieces will take, a couple months at least. So yeah, that's where I am.
Where can I, oh, here, follow your Instagram here. Okay, what's your Instagram too? Okay, you have some followers, yeah. Uh-huh, and how are your reels doing?
Not great. They were doing better.
I
Definitely
know,
things,
so hard.
the algorithm has changed a bit. I think, so this year too, I thought I'd try new things, and I've been putting in for grants, and I've gotten some grants from like the National Arts Association and that kind of thing.
And how long did it take you to fill out the forms and
Not
like-
long. Well, see, that's the beauty of being in Iowa, is there's actually a lot of money here for
Good.
the art
Uh-huh.
and not a lot of artists. So I do feel like that is a way to do it. It's been a learning process in that, like, and I did a series, I'm doing a series of portraits of historical portraits of women leaders in town. So the city's paying me to do that.
Great.
It's one of those learning things of like, I over promised and I'm definitely not making any money, but I did want it on my CV that I'm getting these NEA grants. So it's not a complete waste, but I definitely, again, am working for free. So.
Okay, so I do think that your reproductions are what's going to give you the income you deserve off a very long, you have a very long process. You cannot compete on size and price with other people. It's just not going to happen. Your work's too detail oriented and you're not going to switch that out. I don't want you to switch that out, but you need to find galleries after the holidays again that are going to raise your price points, and you already are in galleries, so you already have a success rate. And have you come up with 10 or so galleries that you would like to be in?
I have a selection. Most are probably over where I am in my career right now. I've talked to Marina about some galleries in New York that I think are trying to get into that market, which I think is a better price point for me.
Yeah.
And the ones in LA, I like Francois Gibardet or whatever, however you pronounce that, are my dream galleries, but I don't think I have the background. So I'm applying to residencies. I'm trying to get my CV to a point where it makes sense to be in the galleries that are in the price point that I need to be in.
And did Marina suggest that that's what you do in order to start contacting them, or did she say to start contacting them?
Yeah, I mean, right now I've gone back on some of it's been hard to isolate because I'm not my genre is so quirky to try to figure out the galleries. And we've had only a few that make a lot of sense, that sort of get both the idea of the process being part of the meaning of it and that layer of information, and then the layer of information of the symbolism and those kind of things. There's not a lot of galleries that hit that.
I'm almost thinking that you actually need to go research different printmaking places, there's and then see where the artists who go to those residencies show their work. So
That's kind of, and what I've done
Tamarin
is
Institute, like the Tamarin Institute, my friends, they're in Portland now. I'll have to figure out who they are, and then go into their website and then research their artists, right? Because these are galleries that are more interested or have some knowledge about printmaking processes and what it takes, and they would be more savvy about explaining how the process that you are doing is special and unique, right? Because people have to buy into the idea that this is a huge process, right? You do this silver point first, and then, I mean, it's a massive process that you're doing.
Yeah.
And it has to be explained to people why your artwork is going to command a higher price point than other people's artwork at the same size. I do think you're going to have good luck at the higher price point and the bigger work, because I think that I see in my experience collectors who are really collectors wanting the bigger pieces. The little pieces, they don't care about the little pieces. They want big things that really work for them and that are showcased for them. I think Anna, when she finds those collectors, are going to do really well because she's got the bigger pieces. So I also want to ask you about your Instagram. Have you seen the templates yet?
Of the reels or the.
Yeah, have you worked with templates at all?
Yeah, I have.
You should
I
be able
do-
to put out a lot more reels than you are. And you're just gonna go into Instagram and you're gonna hit reels, and then you're gonna hit templates. Has everybody seen this yet? Nope. Okay, Anna has, because she's a good Instagrammer. You're gonna go into your Instagram, and then you're gonna hit reels, and then I think it's at the top now, it says templates. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna go into the templates, and you're gonna find, what I tend to do is, okay, so I start now with making like under 5-second little clips of my videos and putting them in folders, like close-up paint ones or pictures of me. And I make these little folders in my photos. Does everybody know how to do that? Okay, got nods. And then I go into the templates and I start, what's nice about the templates is they're like each different part of the video, most of them are like under a second or a second and a half or 0.6 of a second. And I always had trouble making them that small when I went to go, cut them up. So what I tend to do is I look at the videos of the templates and I actually count out how many like images I'm going to need, because it's going to be like I go 10. Okay, I have 10 somewhere. I have 10 images that I can come together and make a story. And then I click that template, and then all you have to do is go add media and just go bam, 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 bam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All the music is there. You could add your text if you want. And then that's it. You should be able to make a reel now in 10 minutes. And you have a really good process there. And I think that you need to show people like what it's like to make silver point. You have something for your phone you have like a goose or any kind of thing that you could hold your phone on. Yeah, you need to have some more images of you doing silver point, you painting. People need to understand why this takes so long. And you need to tell that story. And then as you are creating relationships with galleries, you really need to suggest to them, I'd like to do small limited editions of 5 or something like that they're going to promote too, because you're never going to make enough money off of not necessarily never. I'm not going to say never. It's going to take
No,
you to build up
process.
to a gallery that's going to get the right price point for you. I mean, you're going to need like $12,000 for a 16 by 20 to really start making money from a gallery, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I have sold a few directly to collectors once I've had the collector. And that helps, obviously.
right.
Double
Do you have an email? Do you have an email list?
I have one. It's not very big. But I do try to maintain relationships like with the people who have bought it. It's harder. I think Hollywood was always, I do like showing in LA just because it seems like my collectors are usually Hollywood, people who understand narrative.
Right.
Yeah.
And LA is just a great scene right now. Just a great scene. Right.
Okay.
So maybe this time of year, you could research other galleries that are a little bit higher end than the gallery you have in LA and start making those connections. I would definitely email your list just to say hi, to show new work, to especially you might not want to have unless you're going to do a small limited edition run of prints right now, I would not think of you as like someone who's going to promote a sale for the holidays. I definitely don't think that. But if you have new work on your website, I would definitely promote that for the holidays. Would definitely send out like a holiday email soon,
Yeah.
just with new work. The work
I think I literally can't sell anything because I have to fill a room in the museum.
Right. Well, maybe you have some older work that you could highlight for the holidays.
Literally everything I have that isn't sold is going in the museum.
Okay, well, there you go. Then I just think that you should send out a holiday New Year's thank you for being a collector. And what I think you should do is make like a GIF in it. Like, do you know what a GIF is? GIF, GIF? And it should show all the things that you did this year, like your accomplishments, like you painting, you can make like different photos of like different things that you did this year, and you make it all into like a little like GIF or something like that. And you have a picture of yourself with like a glass of wine cheering them or something like that, and just say, thank you all for being my collectors. I wish you all the happiest of New Year's. Please stay tuned for my amazing show that's going to happen. And then you give the dates so that you kind of start a teaser to them about what is coming in the future. And that's all you have to do for the holidays. Okay. You have to get your show ready and you have to start thinking about a better gallery in LA. Okay. Great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Beth, last one. Let's see what you got. Oh, you're on mute, Beth. You're on mute.
I was going to try and come on Wednesday. Would that be okay to just do that then? Or do you want to do
You
it
know
now?
what? That would probably be better because we have what is it called when they spray the we have pest control coming today at 8:30. So we've been here for an hour and
Be there Wednesday.
I will be here Wednesday and you'll be first. Okay. We didn't get to do any sales thing, but I think we got a lot done. Does anybody have a quick question or two? Did anybody take their Myers-Briggs? Why don't we end with that? Does anybody have their Myers-Briggs? I'm curious. Okay, what do you got, Beth?
NFP.
What is it?
NFP.
NFP. But do you remember if you were introvert or an extrovert? ENFP. All right. I think that's a lot of artists. I'm always curious. Anybody else? Anna?
I have, but I know that I'm an introvert, but I don't know what am I the first. I have to look into my notes.
Okay.
I'll let you know next time. Yeah, it was really fun to do it though.
I find it very helpful to realize what my strengths are and how to hire my weaknesses.
Right. So there's a call on Wednesday as well?
Yes. I ask people to actually just pick one or the other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because, half the people want it early and half the people want it late. And this is my first time with a class. And so I think in the future, I'm not going to do either the one-on-one or you guys get both. And I wanted to make sure that I talked to everybody because I wanted to get feedback also on, what has resonated with you. And we'll talk about that next time. But this time I really wanted to meet the people in the class and see what they could do for Christmas time, for the holidays to, Grace has a show coming up and we gave some holiday ideas and I want to, this is the end of the year. So this is a good time to reconnect with your collector base that you have, even if it's small, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, everybody. You have stunning work. I love
amazing, everybody. I'm so excited to work with you all and make you guys some money, right? And have a good holiday, right? Thanksgiving. Oh, Beth, you're on. I can't hear you. I'll see you tomorrow. You're on mute.
Yeah. For the, no, I'm okay. Thank recording, because I will watch it again. There are a lot of things that went by that I hadn't heard of. So thanks for
Great.
that.
Excellent. All right. I'll see you
Okay.
all very soon. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.